Hey there, Internet, and welcome back to Sweet Fuse at your side. We are in a bit of trouble here. We thought we had solved this puzzle, but we were wrong. And Mitarashi has paid the price, saving my useless bum. So anyhow, let us continue on. The minutes ticked by. Every so often, I could see Mitarashi grin in pain and shift uncomfortably. Way to make this situation even more dramatic, Pakachai. It must hurt more than he's telling us. We need to do something fast. Good plan. I nodded and started running over what we knew in my head. Oh, is this going to be an intuition thing? Shirabe pushed the switch, and then we found the katana with the wild ginger seal on it. And that was the line, take in hand the holy seal, and with the prayer of the priestess. Next we stuck the sword into the statue. And it made a sort of clicking noise, which was the defeat the demon king part. Finally, the light moved to the end of the sword and reflected off it to point to this door, which was the light of victory will illuminate your path. It really ain't obvious. Seems like we did everything we were supposed to, but something feels wrong. I racked my brain for what that might be. Excellent! No, wait. Excellent! Awesome! Intuition minigame! Explosive insight! I think we've got the announcement riddle figured out this time, so I'll look at the stuff we found around the room. Turned out that the Nurarihyon had a diamond-shaped hole that went all the way through the statue from its stomach to its back. We also realized that the statue and its base were made of different materials. Hey, we didn't cover that yet! On the floor, we found a mark that looked like a stylized three-leafed wild ginger plant. The mark appeared to be a button, too. When we examined doors along the walls of the room, it turned out that most of them were fake and just painted on. But not all of them. Some were real. 3 to be exact. So what are we missing? I really don't have anything else I really want to add. I think this is fine. This is fine. How about 3 exits and wild ginger. I'm done. I think my first one was right. Let's see. Oh yeah! We really didn't go over that at all. My favorite song. We forgot about how the statue and its base are each made of different stuff. So, couldn't there be something hidden there? I looked up to see 6 stunned faces staring at me, 'cause I'm a boss. Mother of God! I'm just better than you. Remaining the cool head of reason. We huddled around the statue and began to study it with renewed interest. We have to figure this out quickly. Otherwise, Mitarashi is going to bleed out, and that will not be fun. Out of the corner of my eye, I could see Mitarashi still trying and failing to hide how much his wound hurt. I'm sorry, Mitarashi. I'd offer you a hug, but that'd probably be really uncomfortable. What is this thing made of anyway? Without really thinking, I reached out to touch it, only to have my arm suddenly grabbed and pulled away. Whoa! Wait, what? Pardon? He'd grabbed me and now I was getting yelled at? Okay, this might be my favorite part in the game. So, I mean, this mechanic. Upcoming. I won't spoil it. I mean, sure, I probably shouldn't have touched it without warning everyone, but what does being a woman have to do with that? Sure sounded sexist to me. I'm seeing red! What is he thinking? This probably isn't the time to start a fight, but he's being an idiot! Oh yeah, girl, get mad! What's wrong with you?! Fear me. Yeah, okay, maybe I didn't really think too hard about whether or not I should touch that thing. but my being a woman doesn't have anything to do with it. What the heck were you thinking?
確かにその通りだ。俺としたことがつい言い過ぎてしまった。
That's what I think of your gentlemanly ways. Well, I did stick my hand out when I shouldn't have, and I apologize for that, but don't do that again, okay? It's called manhandling, and it's not much appreciated. Oh hey! I won points with him! What do you know? I should have been more careful, but if I hadn't called Shido out on his malarkey... Everybody, try to find out what the Japanese word for malarkey is, because that's awesome. I would have felt pretty steamed. There you go. I can read. Shido hung his head and rubbed a hand over his eyes. Ha!
その、本当にすまない。民間人を守るべき刑事という立場でありながら、みんなを危険から守れなかった。
Are you going to turn into a wooby that I just feel the need to cuddle now?
そんな自分にイライラしていたのかもしれない。お前に当たるのは筋違いだった。
This is just general life advice, people. If someone does something you're not cool with, call them out on it. No, seriously, do it. Talk to people. If you're not okay with what someone has with something someone has done, you should really talk with them instead of just bottling it up, because then they will never know, and you will start creating a distance between you. Unless that's just Otome game logic.
お前は真面目すぎんだよ。だいたいこんなの怪我のうちに入らねえっつってんだろ。
Did you hear that? Band-aids heal everything.
まあ、お前のことは正直いけすかねえが、これでも頼りにしてるんだぜ。お前らもそうだろ。
Yay, honesty. Yeah, you don't need to be so hard on yourself. Nobody likes you anyway. You don't sound too happy about that.
まあ、そういうわけだ。警部殿。
There's a Japanese pun in there somewhere that I'm not gonna ever pick up because I do not speak Japanese. So I'm a little disappointed. Defective. Stupe, ace defective.
警部補だ。
どっちも同じようなもんだろうが、細かいこと気にすんなって。
まったく、お前にはかなわんな。
Cute.
さあ、仕切り直しだぜ。改めて像を調べよう。
Okay, just because you don't fit into this whole bromance chemistry doesn't mean you have to get all uppity about it. We nodded and turned back to puzzling over the statue again.
ねえ、もしかしてこれ回るんじゃない？
Now, is it really Captain Obvious if it's not obvious? Pointed down to where the statue met the base.
像に触れるのは俺に任せてくれ。
I think you should let me try to turn it, because, you know, you insulted me earlier. Well, it wasn't really an insult. I'm okay with being called a woman. But still, you're like a sexist... Whatever. I can't speak today. I have not had enough caffeine. Shido stepped forward and put his hand on the statue. When nothing happened, he slowly started to push. It moved! Not very far, but it had moved. It appeared that the katana could be used as a sort of handle to rotate the statue.
よし、ここから先は稲船先。お前に頼む。
Oh my gosh! I'm actually kind of like dying over here right now. Thank you.
確かに今度こそ武士のあなたがやるべきでしょうね。
危険がないとも限らんからな。とりあえず少しずつ回してみるといい。
Oh, yes. Right, got it. Also, Shido, that really made up for all sorts of male chauvinist dirtbaggery you might have had in the store. You're not really a male chauvinist dirtbag, you're more like a gentleman. An overly assertive gentleman, which is okay. It's not horrible. I mean, I have no problems with people who want to be chivalrous gentlemen. The head suddenly shot off and flew across the room, slamming into a wall and dropping to the floor.
びっ した。心臓が止まるかと思ったよ。
The unexperienced jump scare. His eyes were so wide I could see the whites, and his breathing was fast and shallow.
カードが緑色に変わってる。
Cool.
武士がヌラリヒョンを倒したんですね。
Sure have.
なるほど。手順が間違っていたんじゃなく、足りなかったのか。
But it wasn't all that obvious what we were supposed to do, so I call shenanigans on Professor Porcine. I can't remember his name. Shirabe groaned and shook his head.
つうことは、次はこの日本刀の切っ先に反射してる光の差す方の引き戸を開ければ。
More than likely, or we're supposed to use the head to bash open a door.
左側の引き戸を指している。よし、今度は俺が行こう。
Okay, go ahead. Knock yourself out. Don't actually knock yourself out, because we still need you. That's it!
正解か。
Let out a sigh of relief and I follow suit. Yes, I do. Victory! Yeah, it has. I'd never thought I'd be happy to hear that voice, but for once I was.
見て、通路の奥に外の景色が見えるよ。
Captain Obvious! This must be the exit! Hitting the buttons too quickly, shouldn't get too excited. We begin to cheer! At last, we'd finally finished the first day's game! Wow, and that only took like, how many episodes? Like, 40? As many episodes as there are in Land Before Time. Our faces were drawn and tired, but every one of them was split with a relieved grin.
Game. Stage 1を完全クリア。報酬アイテムを入手しました。
Please let it be something like antibiotics, because we've got a dead man on our hands. One of the floorboards in the passageway popped open. Inside was a treasure chest like the one we'd found in the first room. Treasure chest CG!
どれどれ。なんだこりゃ。紙切れが一枚ぽっちか。
And this is when the game becomes the meta game. Basically, you want to collect as many of these as possible throughout all of the routes.
さ、太陽って意味か。
Well, that's for me to know, and for you to find out.
お前さんの怪我も気になる。そいつの意味を調べるのは後回しだな。とりあえず、俺が預かっておこう。
I trust you completely, Shirabe. We need to get you treated. Let's go! I broke into a run and I heard everyone else doing the same behind me. It wasn't easy, but we did it. We beat Samurai Fantasy VII. Kind of. In a real-life sort of way. Alright, so that part is done. What we are going to do is we are going to move on next time to the next area, and hey! It's under 15 minutes again! That's never gonna happen ever again. It's probably just gonna be around 20 minutes each and every single time. Because these sections are long, and I'm reading a lot of stuff, and a lot of things are happening. People are dying, man. I mean, whatever. Romance is hardcore. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm gonna close it here then. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you again soon.